Well, hey, here we go. The Hunting Land Man podcast, Rack Bucks and Real Estate, episode 1. We are live. This thing is brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. Hey, yeah, it's our first episode, and we've already got us a sponsor, the great people over at Southern Ag Credit. Actually, next week, we're going to have Alex Reiser with Southern Ag on here telling you all about finance and things like that. Let me tell you, I recommend these guys for a lot of things. They help my clients out. They help me out personally. They help my family out. Finance land, timberland, farmland, you name it, they can do it. If you're gonna finance land, you definitely need to look into Southern Ag Credit, Austin Bean, Alex Reiser, all the crew over there. They're a bunch of great people, easy systems, and easy to work with. Hey, this is the introduction podcast. We're introducing the Hunting Land Man podcast and what this thing is all about. The whole purpose of this podcast is for y'all. It's for my listeners, hopefully plenty of listeners out there, and what we're doing is we're trying to educate. We feel like a lot of our listeners will be young and they want the dream just like myself and my crew want to own hunting land and more of it. And and manage the land and deer hunting and turkey hunting and everything in between. I'm just a kid living a dream, with the outdoor television shows and selling land and doing what I love every day for a living. I'm definitely a blessed human, and I do not take that for granted. I'm Slade Priest. I'm the Hunting Land Man. I was born in Centerville, Mississippi. Actually, born in Zachary, Louisiana, but grew up in Centerville, Mississippi. 3 miles from where I'm sitting right now, where I planted my dream home. My wife Lori, she's from Kentwood, Louisiana. She works for me full time, and she is the mother our daughter Asa, and we've got one on the way in May. I also got a little boy named Bentley. He's a cool cat. Killed him his first deer 2 years ago, and his first turkey the same year. He says he likes turkey hunting better, so he's definitely my son. Asa asks me every day when I get home, Daddy, did you kill a big rack buck? And unfortunately, I don't get to tell her yes every day, but she loves it. And our next one gonna be here in May. I timed that just right after turkey season around here. He's a little boy, so we haven't got a name yet, but we know he's gonna be a deer and turkey hunter. And if he's not, that's okay too. My family, it's kind of I was talking to another guy with our company, and I was built for this business. My grandpa on my mom's side, he developed land, subdivisions, pasture land, timberland. He developed and sold real estate. And he was also a farmer. My grandpa on my dad's side, he was a 5th generation logger, and my little brother is a 7th generation logger. So we've got pictures of our family logging back to the days of doing it with oxen, and right here in this area. Now, I'm not a logger myself, but I've been around it my whole life. My first real job was painting timber on my dad's logging crew, so I've been around it my whole life. And with selling land and selling timberland, of course, we deal with that every day. I got me a whole checklist, if y'all wondering, kind of where I'm getting all this stuff from. I want to make sure I covered everything on here because, hey, y'all listened to the first podcast, so I'm a rookie at this, and just like y'all are listening for the first time, I'm recording it for the first time. Hey, my hunting background. I killed my first deer when I was 6 years old, sitting in my cousin Randy's lap. If you're from the local area, you know where Whitetails is, the Back Porch Cafe right there in Woodville. That's my cousin Randy's store. If you walk in there, you'll see a picture of me and him sitting with my 4-point I killed sitting in his lap when I was 6 years old, and literally have killed 100 since, and probably killed dozens with him since. Just absolutely, I'm ate up with hunting. Everything to do with hunting, running cameras, filling feeders, managing property, you name it. I mean, if I'm somewhere, if I'm in the Bahamas on the beach and I'm running a guy with a camouflage hat, we talking about hunting. I mean, that's what I like to do. In fact, that actually happened one time. Another story for another podcast. But anyway, I started pretty much bow hunting only when I was 15. My dad told me I was crazy. He said, you're going to see a big buck and you're not going to get a shot because you messing around with that bow. And sure enough, it happened. But now pretty much every man in my family pretty much bow hunts only. So, I'm just ate up with it. I love bow hunting. I love working on bows and everything that has to do and challenges. We were sitting in a we were sitting at the camp one time. I killed my deer the first day in Canada, so we had 6 days to sit around the camp, and the guy bet me $100 I couldn't hit the target, the rifle target that was 213 yards from the camp. And after some windage adjustment and some sight adjustment, a couple days, I got it hit. And it was 213 yards. But I just love everything to do with bow hunting. So my family, they own Tatum Plantation, and Tatum Plantation is a high fence. Hey, I'm not sugarcoating that one bit. There's no all native genetics, no brought-in deer, anything like that. That is where my deer education come from. And if you've never been out there, if you've never experienced a 2,600 acre high fence like Tatum was, well, actually 2,200 acres, some in the fence, some outside the fence, and what that can do for your deer education. And what I mean by that is, where I hunt around Centerville and stuff, I probably got deer over 5 years old, maybe 5 or 6 on camera. I don't know. Let's call it 10. Let's assume I'm wrong and I've got more than I think. How much can you actually learn about those deer if you're hardly ever seeing them and you don't have that many on camera? Well, inside the high fence, a real high fence, no brought-in deer, anything like that, I was really able to learn so much about the local deer and what they do, when they rut, how they travel, how far they'll travel, what they'll do if you let them get to the right ages. And man, I was like a kid in a candy store. We put up that high fence when I was 15. Now, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of high fences. I'll probably do a podcast about that one day, the pros and cons and what my real opinion is. But I'm not a huge fan of high fences just because a lot of the ways they're done it wrong. I'm not necessarily saying we did it right, but I think God allowed me and my family to do that to give me the deer education that I have today, and I really mean that. So when I was 16, I started guiding in that high fence, and by the time I got to college, I'd started my business, Country Boy Outfitting. Country Boy Outfitting, we had places inside the fence, outside the fences, all around Mississippi and Louisiana. Me and my college buddies, we all during the holidays and during our off time, we guided deer, turkey, hog hunts, did some duck hunts. I did some exotic hunts in some of the high fences and helped schedule some hunts across the country. So we were living a kid's dream. And if you know anything about me at all, you know that we kind of got our start in the TV world and with Trained Assassins. And Trained Assassins, the whole name behind Trained Assassin came from, I used to have some shirts made up that said, "Beware, Country Boy Outfitting guides the Trained Assassins." And that's where the Trained Assassins came from. We started videoing our stuff kind of around Southwest Mississippi and the places we were allowed to hunt. And some sponsors started paying attention. We started putting our stuff on YouTube, which is super popular now. But back then, it's like, what is this hunting show on YouTube? And we had a lot of interest from a lot of sponsors real fast. And before you know it, we were at the Sportsman Channel Show Awards and up for our award the first year of our show. So that was a really cool life experience, something that I definitely don't take for granted, and super appreciative of the opportunities that were given to us from Trained Assassin Television. Well, in the middle of Trained Assassin Television, I started my real estate career. And actually, before Trained Assassin Television, let me back up on that. And so I was doing the real estate, and everybody started calling me the hunting land man, and kind of joking. I want to say maybe Ryan started saying it on the show first. If you know Ryan Wascom, you wouldn't think he was the jokester he is, but he really is. And Ryan, if you don't know, is one of the hosts on Hunt United and was on Trained Assassin with us. And everybody started picking on me, the hunting land man with the white shades, and that was fun. And then I started hearing my clients mention it, so I just kind of ran with it, and that's how we became the hunting land man. Like I said earlier, I'm just going down this checklist of things, how I feel like I can introduce myself and make myself good and qualified for my clients. And another thing, my mom and dad, I talked about my grandpas. My mom and dad have both. My dad at one time was my biggest client. We do a lot of stuff together. He buys and sells property from Mississippi, Louisiana, Missouri, Florida. We do stuff a little bit of everywhere, and anything we feel like that is a good investment, we go after it. And my mom she's done hotels, she's done subdivisions, done all kinds of projects with different things, and she's pretty much qualified to do anything. And if I had to remember one thing from my childhood, my mom always said, "Hey Slade, you can do anything you put your mind to." And I think she's proven that in her life. She's done a little bit of everything. So in the middle of all this high fencing and TV shows and all this kind of stuff, I also started a land consulting business. And what I did with that, I kind of got a reputation of knowing how to grow big deer from doing it all on our places we were managing. And I'd always developed land with my family's land and with my dad's flip properties and things like that. And so some people started hiring me to do it. I had a blast doing it. I helped people put in big food plots and lakes and plan deer management plans and timber management plans and splitting up property to sell. Everything under the sun, we did it. Now I don't do as much of that anymore because we're so busy with the land sales, but that was a really cool way to learn what works and what doesn't. And I'm using those skills I learned through doing all that process today to help my clients in the real estate business. So if a guy says, "Hey, look, Slade, I'm buying this raw piece of land. What we're going to do to make it really good deer hunting?" I say, we're going to put in the food plots here. We're going to put your camp here. We're going to put the road system here. We're going to access that food plot here. We're going to make sure we got water here. We're going to cut this timber and make bedding area here. We're going to leave this timber alone and burn it every year for the turkeys. And everything that has to do with making land better, I try to help my clients with. Like I started this thing out, and if you're listening to this and you don't know who I am, like I said, I'm the hunting land man, and I kind of got a note right here on my pad that says who I am real estate wise. I truly mean this next statement. I think I'm really good at my job. I think the good Lord put a lot of things in my path that made me good at my job. We work really hard. I always tell my clients when they're looking to hire me, if you can find somebody else that works harder than us, good luck, because we work hard. And Ryan sitting over there videoing this thing right now is probably saying, yeah, he works me too hard. But I really mean this next statement is I don't want to be just good at my job. There's a lot of people that just, okay, I'm good at my job, I make this much money, I sell this much land, I do this much whatever. I want to be the best that's ever done it. And I don't think that's that's not a bragging thing or whatever. I think the good Lord put a lot of skills in this between these 2 ears of mine, and I think that He put me in the right path where I have the ability to possibly do that. And hey, maybe I can, maybe I can't be the best that's ever done this, but I'm going to tell you what, we're going to work real hard, and nobody's going to say they worked harder at it than we did. And, I just really think we have the opportunity to do that. And what I mean by that is, with the land consultant and the hunting background and the TV show. Let me tell you something that the TV show did for me. Who would have thunk it? All the things that we learned from social media, we had to with the TV show, or now applying to real estate. I mean, I like to think in the land business, we own the social media game. I mean, a lot of it's because we learn what to do on, from the TV show. So just so many things that led us to where we are today as far as from a marketing standpoint and knowing what we're doing in this land sales thing. And let me tell you something, we're learning every day. If I'm in my truck and I'm not on the phone on my earbuds, and I know some of my buddies are laughing at me when I said earbuds right now, if I'm not on my phone on my earbuds, I'm listening to something for me to be able to perform for my clients better. And let me see where we're headed. I'm making sure. I'm going through this list pretty good, Ryan. Where we're headed. I didn't even look at the time. I don't even know how long we've been. We're 14 minutes. We're doing good. Where we're headed. I just hired Ryan. We got Ryan Wascom, and now we have new Ryan that's right here. He's behind the camera over here. Well, new Ryan is our newest employee. This is what I told new Ryan. Let me back up a little bit. We're hiring new Ryan. He is helping us give us more hours in the day. So what he's doing, like today, he was taking some pictures of a listing and helping to load us up on the MLS. My wife, as I said, Lori, works for me full time also. She helps us do all these things also, but we just need more time. We've been blessed enough that we need more hours in a day for our clients, and Ryan is helping us do that. He's getting his real estate license right now, and he's rocking and rolling, learning a lot. He's going to go with me tomorrow, actually, look at some properties. Then he's going to go load up his podcast so you can be listening to it now. But that's where we're headed. We're headed to do something I feel like that's never been done in the hunting land game. We're creating a brand. We're doing things we don't. I've heard the term BHAG used before. You're big, hairy, obnoxious goal. Ryan's part of that. I'm getting more of a team under me. I always wanted to do stuff kind of more than around here, and I did buy my first piece of property in the Midwest this year in Missouri. We'll probably do a podcast on what the plan is for that, because I think that's a fun project. Ryan Wascom, not new Ryan, and I bought that property. And the BHAG of all that is, heck, I'd like to have a plane one day, and people listen to this podcast. I hope to one day be able to list your stuff across the country, and me and my team come in, swoop in, and put some big ammunition behind these listings. And that's what real estate is these days. Real estate is marketing, man. My goal, if I list your property, is to put more eyes on to anybody. I jokingly said this. I jokingly said this at our national convention this year, at the Realtree United Country part I spoke at, is if you can find an agent that can put more eyes on your property than me and my team, let me know, because I want to go work for them. Now, I say that because I know nobody can. And I just know how hard we work at it. And if there's a spot we're not marketing, it's because we've already figured out it's not worth the time, it's not worth the spend. I mean, that's the truth. So we're headed, I got this note on here where we're headed. We're headed, we're headed everywhere. We're trying to expand. New Ryan is from a.k.a. County up northeast of us, and we're going to try to expand a little bit more up in that area. We're doing a lot of stuff in Louisiana right now. I live actually about 3 miles from the line, right here in the southwest corner of Mississippi in Wilson County, and that's where I do most of my sales. So most of my stuff, Wilson County, admit we're an hour from Baton Rouge Tiger Stadium. Yes, we are LSU fans. Don't hold that against us, but we did have a pretty good season last year. This year not so good, but hey, we had one going. Ryan behind the camera's laughing because he played a little ball over at Ole Miss, but he knows Joe Burrow's daddy. But anyway, the purpose of this podcast, as I said, we're going to try to be educating our listeners to what you can do to either have your own piece of hunting property one day. If you do have your own piece of hunting property, or maybe it's a lease property or whatever, what we can do to improve it. I want to do weekly, not weekly, but so often turkey reports, rut reports, what's going on, what you need to be doing. What is today, Ryan? February 3rd, 4th, something like that. 3rd. February 3rd. Hey, what you need to be doing right now, speaking of that, you need to get your inventory, figure out what deer made it through the season so you can start making a game plan for next year. I'm doing that right now. My trail camera pictures will come through at 9 on my cell cams, and I know what deer made it. In fact, I even told Ryan this, all our deer from right down the road made it, so we're going to have a good October. Everybody we wanted to make it made it, so I'm super pumped about that, and I have some really good deer. I've got all my feeders. I'm doing half protein, half corn right now, so that's really just from a cost standpoint. If cost is not an option, go ahead and give them straight protein, but I'm doing straight protein and corn right now. I honestly, from a personal standpoint, feel like that if you're not, right now it's just important, and we like to feed them protein when we're looking at 60% of their horn, but right now recovering from the rut for next year, it's probably just as important, because by the time May, June gets here, when everybody's thinking about protein and stuff like that, you get so much stuff in the woods, you have a lot of food, but right now all the acorns are gone. A lot of people's grass, if they're not, maybe it's not doing real good or not doing anything for their body weight. So you need to be getting that food to your deer right now. So that's the kind of stuff I want to do. Time of year when we record these things, what's going on with the deer, what's going on with the turkeys. We got a big turkey season coming up on, I didn't even tell Ryan this, I rode on Dixon Creek, a property that I own down the road. Saw a bunch of turkeys on it, about 15 or 20. So that one, that'll be a good, and we have to take that off the market till after turkey season. That's a property that I personally own. But, we want to help our listeners have better deer season, have better turkey season, manage their property better, make better decisions with their money when it comes to what to spend on property, what not to spend on property, and just anything that has to do with rack bucks and real estate. That's what we want to be about. I also want to do deer stories and turkey stories. I'm going to have, like, I've got some buddies of mine from around the country. I'll have them on, have them either on the phone or here in person. And hey, if you've got a big deer, maybe that you killed, that you had some history with, and what you did to kill him, we want to know, because I want to help my listeners know, hey, let's take these tactics and the things he did and apply it to my hunting property. And that's, and different turkey stories. And I'd love to have, all the Trained Assassin crew on here every once in a while and talk about some stories from the past, talk about Uncle Rusty. And Uncle Rusty was my actual uncle that passed away last year, and just kind of talk about him and things like that. That'd be a great podcast to do, because there's a lot of good story behind that old codger. But something else that I've always liked on shows and podcasts when people have their guest on is they ask them a certain question. They ask, maybe one question or three questions. And my question is, all right, if I gave you $100 million or some stupid amount, I'm just going to say $100 million cash money, you won in the lottery tomorrow, where are you buying land and why? That's my question. I think you can learn a lot about somebody with that question, and it's actually some really cool answers. Me personally, don't matter where I can go, how much money I got. I love Southwest Mississippi. I'm going to have a big bad to the bone place around here. I'm not moving out of this house I just built, because I don't recommend anybody ever building a house, and I like where I live. But I'm gonna have a big place around here that I could have and grow big 5-year-old bucks. We could shoot my bow, me, my family, and friends. And I definitely have a couple of places in the Midwest. I'd love a place maybe in northeast Missouri, and have I have a place in northeast Missouri, northeast Missouri, and then have a place in Iowa, a place in Nebraska, a place in Kansas, so I can hunt 4 states out of my one lodge. Now I'd have to cherry pick my farms to be close enough to make that work, but I feel like that would be the ultimate. You could go up there and kill, 2 turkeys in Missouri, 1 turkey in Iowa, 2 turkeys in Kansas, and I think it's like 3 or 4 in, I know it's at least 3 in Nebraska, so it would be a really cool place to own a property. But everybody's got their different do's and don'ts. I know people that would buy places in Texas, or buy, I guess if I had $100 million, I guess I would definitely have to have an elk place too, because there's nothing better than that elk I had today for lunch and hearing one bugle on the side of a mountain. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to educate our viewers or our listeners and viewers, we're videoing this too, on what they can do to own hunting property, what they can do to make it better. I want to talk about everything from a real estate standpoint. This is something I didn't write on my pad, Ryan. You should have told me this. I want to talk about everything that has to do with commissions. What you should be doing from a commission standpoint. I want to talk about my competition. I want to bring some of my competition. Listen, I'm not the only option out there. There's other agents that do a great job selling property in our area. I'd love to talk to them. Man, maybe they give me some tips, maybe make them better. But I'd love to hear why they think they're the best. And then maybe I can tell them why they're not. But just have different people on there like that. We're gonna definitely, like I said, have some of my buddies on here that sell property too, and some of the people with our company. I am one of the new owners now of Southern States Realty there in Macomb. And we're making that team better all day, every day, with my buddy Scott Lindsay and Scott Campbell and all our team, Kyle Bass and Brent Bear and David Hooper over in Louisiana. Everybody, we're making that team better. And we are a great office. We have been the #1 office now the last 10 of 13 years. We found out today we won #2. Congratulations, Travis Hamley and crew up in Wisconsin. They beat us by this much. I'll tell you how close it was. In a company that has something like 550 offices in the United Country, if one sale that Brent Barron and I had would have closed in 2020 instead of 2021, we would have won. That's how close it was. So, hey, congratulations to them. But I told Travis today, I texted him and hit him up on social media when he posted it. Don't get comfortable, buddy, because I'm coming. But that's going to be about it for this introduction podcast. I just want y'all to know who I was, where I come from, and we're going to take this thing and try to blow it up. And if y'all hit us up on social media, hit us on YouTube, subscribe to us. Hey, if you give us a 5-star written review, that really helps us out. And next week, our guest is going to be Alex Reiser. He is one of the I think vice president of lending or something like that with Southern Ag Credit. He's going to be on here talking about what you need to be doing to get your finances in order to buy a piece of hunting property and what Southern Ag Credit can do for you. So thank y'all for listening. God bless. Say your prayers tonight, and we'll be back with you with Alex Reiser here in the next couple weeks.